Working at theme parks, you deal with a lot of guests. And some of them, well, let's just say that these are some ways to avoid being that guest. Because you don't want to be that guest. When you work at theme parks, you get to deal with guests of all sizes, shapes, temperaments, moods, just all sorts of different people. They're wonderful for the most part. 95% of your guests are fantastic. And they're having fun and you're having fun. But there is this handful of guests that they're the ones you talk about afterwards for the wrong reasons. You know, that guest over there, those guests. Nobody wants to be that guest or those guests. At least you shouldn't. But there are some definite easy ways to avoid being that guest. And not only not make yourself look bad or do something dumb, but also to get the most out of your day as well. So here are some tips, tricks to not just get the most out of your day when visiting a park, but also how to avoid being that guest so the employees like me afterwards aren't going, oh. The first thing you want to avoid is some of the dumb questions. Things like, do you see the castle anywhere?
No, I'm looking for the Epcot ball. I want to ride Spaceship.
You want a ball? I want a castle. Where's the castle? Or other questions like, where are all the kiddie rides in this park? Or the multitude of weird questions like, where's Harry Potter World? What time is the 3 o'clock parade at today? These are dumb questions because really what you're doing is you are holding up a sign saying, I don't know where I am, I don't know what I'm doing, and I know nothing about this place. That's not a sign you want to be holding up at a theme park. You want to have a clue where you are and what is there. Take some time to prepare ahead of time. Look at the park's websites. Look at their park hours. Look at what's available in the parks. Pretty much everybody has maps online now. They all have apps for their phones. You can look up show times and schedules and all of those kinds of things. It's all here or on their website or on those wonderful little paper maps and brochures you pick up as you walk in the park. Look ahead of time though. When you walk into a park like Disney and you ask, where are the kiddie rides? You might be shocked to find out there is no kiddie ride section at Disney. Everything is meant to be done together as a family. You want to know where the rides are? Okay, look at the map. Which ride are you looking for? Have a clue what's there before you walk in. How can you spend hundreds, thousands of dollars to go someplace and not have any idea what's there? I don't get that. I mean, really, you don't want to be like these two clueless dumbbirds at Disneyland and ask these questions. How do you get on the People Mover? It's right there. I can see it. Where do I go? Where do you get on the People Mover? It's right there.
I think it's in front of the Hogwarts castle.
In front of the Hogwarts?
Yeah.
Why don't they make these things easy to find? Because if you act like that, yeah, you're going to be that guest and show that you don't really have a clue what's going on. Don't be that guest. Look at the park stuff and the information ahead of time. Find out what's going on. Don't be like these goofballs showing up at Disney World and then refusing to wear a mask and getting arrested because they can't pay attention to the rules. Don't be them. Read up ahead of time. Get your information ahead of time. Know what awaits for you so you can plan better and at least have an idea of what's there. And don't be like that guest that walks up to find a ride closed or a character leaving and do this.
Wait! You gotta let us see them! We've been here for a week and we've been waiting all week just to see them! You can't let them leave, it'll ruin the whole trip for Bessie Sue!
As an employee, when I would have somebody walk up to me like that, I really had no desire to help them at all. You waited your whole vacation and the very end of your trip. The last thing you want to do is the thing you supposedly wanted to do most. Poor planning. And really, if that was the most important thing, you should have been here earlier. we really didn't have much sympathy for people who did this routine. Besides the fact they made a show and made themselves look bad, just terrible planning. Don't wait till the end for the most important thing, especially if it's a ride that you get there and you find out it is closed for seasonal rehab. Oh, the poor people at the rides that are down for part of the year. I saw this at Splash Mountain a couple times when I was taking pictures down there. And Splash Mountain closes for a month or two every year to get basic upkeep work. And to see those people outside, I traveled all the way to ride this. Well, then you should have looked at the website and realized that they announced 6 months ago it was going to be closed. This isn't a shock. Those kinds of people did not make us really want to help them. Now, the ones that would walk up and go, oh goodness, I'm sorry, I'm late. I wish we were looking, when's the next time she'll be out? We'll try and make it then. When they were polite, when they were gentle, when they were apologetic, I would watch characters as they were leaving when a parent had obviously had something that held them up. Our dinner reservation kept us late and we got stuck, and they were apologetic and sorry, and not asking the character to come back, not demanding, but instead they were looking at their child going, you know, I'm sorry, we missed it, they need to leave. I would watch characters turn around and walk back to spend a moment with that child. They didn't have to do it, they weren't being demanded to do it, they weren't being asked to do it, but it was those times that the cast members would go, okay, they're not being demanding, they're not being a pain in the neck, they're sorry something happened. All right, maybe we might be able to work something here. That's when magic would happen, when people weren't expecting it. But when you demanded it and you whined and you didn't plan and it was your own fault, then you think it's no. Not going to happen. That's going to be the guess afterwards that we just walk indoors and kind of go, don't you wish, buddy? Oh, or the people that walk into a park and have been there and you hear them start complaining about, why are there so many people here? It's the holidays. Shouldn't they be home? Why did you plan your vacation at the same time everybody else planned it? This always kind of amazed me that people for some reason would think that because they wanted to come at a certain time nobody else did, and so the parks would be empty. Weekends. Parks are busy on weekends, people. Everybody else is off work at the same time you are, so they come in. And there's no school, so they come in on weekends. Holidays. Why is it a surprise that the parks are busy on a holiday? Especially the holiday. Christmas week and New Year's, busiest time of year for parks that are open because everybody's off and on vacation and wanting to travel and do something special, and it's insanely busy. If you don't want crowds at the park, go sometime when people can't go, when they're in school, when they have to work Monday through Friday, middle of the week, Tuesday through Thursday, generally being best. Sunday evenings oftentimes are good because people travel. So if you can make it on a Sunday evening when everybody else is going home, that might be a good time. Think about when everybody else actually can't be at the park, and that's probably a good time to be there. Learn how to stay away from the crowds. There's a reason why when I go to a park, if you've watched my videos and I'm there on a busier day, I'm like, I ain't waiting that long for a ride. If I see a line that's longer than 30 minutes, I'm kind of going, no, I don't do that because I go on days that there aren't crowds, that there aren't people. I learn to avoid those, and weekends are just a time to avoid if at all possible. My other bit of advice is to be early, stay late. Take a mid-afternoon break, and I say this all the time. I know, you're on vacation. Don't want to get up on vacation. I'm sleeping. Okay, first off, if you were at a theme park, it's not a vacation, it's an adventure. And an adventure, you gotta work at it a little bit. If you are on vacation to rest and relax, a theme park is not something to do on an R&R day. Take an R&R day another day. That's your sleep and rest day. A theme park, the biggest time that the crowds are there is mid-afternoon, from like noon, depending upon when the park opens, to about 6 o'clock. That's the busiest times, especially right in the middle and the longest lines, and that's when you don't want to be there. The shortest lines you're going to find, and sometimes not even existent lines, is in that first hour or two the park is open, and then oftentimes the last hour or two it's open, Especially if they have like a late parade or something, right after that, everybody leaves. They're the golden hours. You want to be there at rope drop for a reason, because nobody else wants to be there at rope drop. There's no lines. Get all your big stuff done then. If they have a big parade or an evening event or fireworks, once that's done, if the park is still open for a couple hours afterwards, my goodness, avoid that massive crowd leaving the park after that deal and go do some more stuff because everybody's leaving. You got no lines. Silver Dollar City at Christmas, when they do the parade, they do the night parade twice. Skip the first parade. Everybody's lining up for that one. You don't want to deal with the crowds. Go ride other things during the parade because the lines will go down. And then once that parade's ending, all those people leave and the park's empty. You get to catch the second parade with no crowd fighting and enjoy it and still get to do some stuff afterwards. If it's a long day, take a midday break. Go back to your hotel if it's close. Find a quiet place where the park to rest. Do something to just kind of detox, unwind, and get away from the noise and stimulation. Kind of like a mid-afternoon nap. You want those in-book hours. If you're one of those, but I can't get up. I understand why people sleep in. I like sleeping in. I'm not a morning person. But then you start thinking about the amount of money that you're paying per hour in that park to be there. That's a lot of money you're throwing away too if you're not there. Just learn to pace yourself. That's what the break's for. The other thing that does too is it helps you avoid being that guest that in the mid-afternoon, the kids are cranky, you're cranky, everybody's tired and cranky, and you're going, ugh! Trust me, when we see the guests blow up, whether it's the kids or the adults, because the adults blow up too, it's ugly sometimes. You don't want to be that guest that the cast members are having to walk over to you and going, sir, maybe you need to go sit down and cool off. Maybe you need to go relax. Maybe you just need to take a break. You want those breaks. That's why you plan the mid-afternoon break. It's going to help your nerves, your energy level, everything recharge. And I've seen people that have slept in and then walked in with the middle of the vast crowd all coming in at the same time, blow up before they even get into the park, because if they'd been there an hour earlier, it would have been so much easier with shorter lines to even walk in. Even my family, my last trip to Silver Dollar City, we got there a little later than I would have liked, and we ended up waiting an hour in the ticket line before we could even get into the line to get into the park, and I was not happy. Avoid that. Get there early. You also don't want to be that guest walking around going, my feet hurt. Oh, my legs, my feet. Ow. Blisters. Where's first aid? Especially don't be that guest that's going, where's first aid? I can't find it. Right behind you. Get comfortable shoes. Don't be wearing high heels to a theme park. Don't wear flip-flops. Don't wear things that are not going to provide comfort to your feet. I've seen people wear ridiculous stuff. High-heeled combat boots? Really? Hello? I've seen people dress up in formal evening wear with the dress shoes, and oh my gosh, that's not easy to walk in. You're going to be walking miles at even a moderate-sized theme park. Disney, you can plan on walking 7 to 10 miles every single day. And you're going to wear high heels or flip-flops? Not what I would wear for a marathon. Get some good walking shoes. My wife hates tennis shoes. Doesn't like anything closed in. So we actually buy her a walking sandal for theme parks, so she can walk comfortably but still have open feet. They're shoes designed to walk on and break them in before you go. You don't want to be that person wearing a flip-flop that breaks in the middle of the park, because now you have no shoes and you got to go spend $30 for a $5 pair of flip-flops. You don't want to be that guest either. Get yourself in shape for walking. Okay, I know I've got a shape. Yeah, it's not a good shape right now. But I also know I've got some big trips coming up in June. I'm walking. I've actually got stuff every day that I'm working on to make sure that I am prepared. So when I'm walking every day, I'm not walking around going, you don't want to be them either. Don't die at a theme park. Get yourself in shape. Get yourself good shoes. And don't take your shoes off. I saw this at one of the theme parks I visited not too long ago. And, you see, I've seen what hits the ground, what spills, what splashes, what gets poured, what gets dropped, what gets left behind, shall we say. Yeah, they do their best to clean the ground, but trust me, it ain't sanitary. And especially when you consider that there's also animals there. I don't know of a park that doesn't have squirrels and other rodents around and maybe some cats and birds and you know, they leave stuff behind too. Ew! And then I see people actually changing their kids on the ground or walking with bare feet. Oh, ugh, ugh, ick. Don't do that. Or then you get these people like all of these in these pictures that somehow think a garbage can is a seat or a stool. Okay, not only do they all have the stuff I just mentioned, but it gets put on top of the can and on the doors, and you're sitting on that. Or standing your child on that. Or, ooh! Not only are they not stable, they're not safe, they're not going to hold up. I've seen people fall off of them. Not good. But they're gross! What are you doing? Ew! Yuck! Keep your shoes on, keep off the garbage cans. Oh. And while I'm on that, the fences are a fence. They are not seats. They're not stands. I see more people stand on fences, sit on fences, try to jump up on fences, try to cross fences. That's not what they're for. And unfortunately, I have seen people fall. I can't believe this girl here didn't fall trying to stand on that fence for a picture. Or they stand on them for fireworks or for parades or just to do it. And oh my, don't do that. Because then you will be that guest going to first aid with assistance because you fell and got hurt. Or you will be that guest getting escorted out of the park for crossing safety barriers. Or you're just going to be that guest that everybody looks at and goes, wow, they're lucky they didn't get hurt. As cast members, we hated those guests. We hated dealing with them. I hated having to walk up and say, hey, folks, could you please get off of there? And them looking at me like I'm the idiot. Look, I know what's on that. I know what's been on that. I know what's been there, and I know what it's like to fall off of that because I've seen people do it. I'm trying to save your life. I'm trying to save you from injury. I'm trying to save you from disease. Get down and stop putting your kids up there, please. Even if you're holding them, don't put them on a garbage can or fence. I have seen kids slip out of hands. I watched this one poor girl that was watching a parade. Dad's holding her on the fence. Girl slips. 1 foot on one side of the fence, 1 foot on the other, and her sudden drop. Dad isn't ready, and not a pleasant way to have a trip go. And then, of course, there's a parade going, so trying to get assistance to them was not fun. Don't be that guest. So that's just a few of the guests that we would deal with. It was like, oh, why? Don't be like them. I'm sure you've got more guests that you don't want to be like. I'd love to hear it in the comments. Now you have a few ideas how to not be that guest. What other ideas you got? Share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Don't forget to check the description below. There's a ton of information there, including my fan pages, how to contact me, where I've been, on my Scribble map, how to submit ideas, all sorts of stuff. Check that out below. There's also information there about my financial supporters, my YouTube members, and my patrons. Thank you so much for their financial support. Yeah, hopefully you see a better quality picture. That is thanks to their support. And also some of the video footage and the pictures you've seen also all came because of their support enabling me to go on those trips. If you want to know more about supporting me, as well as some of the perks and how it's going to help me do a huge trip this summer, that could be really awesome for the channel, be sure to check the descriptions below. I also want to give a huge shout out to my brand new patron, Jana Birch. Thank you so much for signing on, Jana. I appreciate it. And thank you so incredibly much for watching. God bless. Yeah, don't be that guest. You don't want to be that guest. You know which guest I mean. look at the park planning. Some of the your shortest lines, in fact, non-existence. A lot non-existence. Yeah, we're incorporeal. We're in. I don't know where we're. Okay, not only does they have also some of the video footage and the pictures you've seen that all came because of their support and able. Do you see the castle anywhere?
No, I'm looking for the Epcot ball. I want to ride Spaceship.
You want a ball? I want a castle. Where's the castle? Why don't they? Where did they move the castle this time?
I think they took it to the other place so Harry can go to school in it.
Oh, is that where Harry goes to school?
Yes, he goes to school in the castle. I also think the wand shooting is around that area. I'm hoping. Because I really want to pick a wand. Or
Okay.
two.
Oh, hey, look, it's a giant rodent. You got the bug spray?
Yes. If I had the wand,
I need a mouse trap. Where is a mouse trap when you need one? I'm tired. Why don't they have moving benches in places like this where I can just sit down and it would carry me where I want to go?
It's called a people mover.
Well, I tried to get on the people mover earlier and they wouldn't let me.
Why don't you fly your broom?
Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to know about contact information, fan pages, merchandise, and more, please be sure to check the description below. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to know when I have new ones, well, make sure you hit that subscribe button right up there. And if you want to see another one of my videos, well, I've got a great one for you right here. And a huge thank you to these wonderful people here who support me on Patreon and with YouTube memberships. They get behind the scenes information, special perks, and more. If you'd like to know more about that, well, make sure you check that button right there. Thank you so much.